Hello everybody and welcome to the sketchbook tour. Let's prepare. We need some candle here and we definitely will need some tea. So this is the sketchbook that I started in Moscow and I finished it in Turunch, where I live now. So I ended it right in the end of the 2022, I think so. And now it's February and it's time to show you what's inside. On the cover, as usual, I have lots of stickers from my favorite artists. These ones are from Janssen and this is from Rumi. And I will link their art pages in the description. So what do we see here right from the beginning is that I adorned it as a nature journal. And I was aiming it to be a nature journal, but then something went completely unexpectedly. What I like here is that I used different media and I kind of used my ability to do hand lettering, and I love these sticky letters. So let's go. And I also wanted to do some more writing, but then it became very hectic and you will see why. So I started it in the December of 2021, pretty long time ago, right? But the last year was quite a ride and I didn't do enough of art. So definitely journal took me a lot to finish. So in 2021 I took on bird watching and I liked it a lot, and I started to realize that even my local forest in Moscow had lots of bird species, and I was of course wondering why these major parrots, the yellowy birds, yellowy black birds, are called great tits, like white tits. So I started with drawing different birds. This one is a crane from a picture, and lots of these are from pictures, not from my pictures, because I'm not skilled enough to make pictures of birds because they're very quick and you need those, huge telelens. And then I also watched masterclass from Ian McCaig on schoolism about drawing trees, and I became obsessed with drawing trees. And then we see now here, being kind of far away from nature journaling, it's something more magical, more illustrative, and but it's about ravens, and we had a couple of ravens near my house in Moscow, and every time I met them I was very delighted. This is my dog Jaina. Unfortunately she's still in Moscow, very far from me, and I miss her greatly. And here's a sketch of her, maybe from like January 2022. And this is the view on the forest from my window in Moscow. And in the beginning of 2022, me together with my artistic girlfriends, we went to the Kovcheg. I don't know what's the English word. I will write it here as a script. It's a special place, special farm, which holds animals, which provides them for different filmings, and they also save animals from cruel situations. And we went there to make pictures with the raven and with deers, and I made lots of pictures there, and then afterwards I made those sketches. And I'm obsessed with drawing goats, and we have goats here in Turkey. Right from my window I can see a farm and they have 7 goats. I think I really want to ask the farmer if I can come and sketch the goats from life. Little mousy, and here I think I was map crunching a little bit, most probably. I didn't write what was it, so I think I was map crunching. It was a long time ago. These were drawings made by Veronica. It's Lucas's friend, and this is Lucas did a beautiful depiction of a bullfinch, which I love. It's me drawing different stuff. I was very into drawing crystals after visiting the Museum of Crystals. Lemons. This one is from Lucas. Sometimes I'm not sure what to do with those pages which were touched by the hand of my son. Sometimes I do like continue those drawings and build up something unusual, but here I didn't do anything and I decided to leave it just empty like that. And here I want to shout out beautiful commenter who said to me that this was something that made you feel seen, because not all the artists are parents, and not all the artists who are parents allow their kids to use their sketchbooks, and sometimes it's very hard to avoid it. So here it is. It will be more of Lucas later, I think. Here I did beaver studies. We were thinking to do a collaboration video together with my friend Crixis, and I will also link her in the description of the video. We wanted to do Narnia collaboration, and Chris, hello. Maybe we will come back to it at some point of our lives. Can you imagine? It was like beginning of 2022, before you know what happened and like all the life kind of stopped. Yeah, it was done on the 28th of February, and if you've been on this planet in 2022, you very much know what happened on February 24. My country, Russia, did what it did, and I don't want to get into details here, but I think it was the first art that I did after that, and it was about hope and about life, and about spring and everything. And 1 year in, we're still in a mess, and yeah, I'm glad that I did this picture back then. At the moment when we knew about what my country did to the neighbor country, we were in St. Petersburg, and this is the view from our hotel with my husband. We stayed there and we were celebrating our 10 years anniversary, and it happened when we were at our anniversary trip. So I think I will remember this view forever, most probably. And after coming back home, it was really hard for me to connect with my art at any point. I was trying to do something. So from further on, this sketchbook stopped being like nature journal with my observations or something, and it became just like, let's do some art to calm down anxiety, basically. And this is what I did, combining different materials like watercolors, crayons, markers, and pencils and everything. This is, again, like St. Petersburg. And this is a picture from my forest of a tree with mushrooms, and a bird from a picture reference from the internet. There were really big breaks in me making the drawings that year. I didn't send... Now I see that I regret that I didn't set the date here, because here, as you can see, it's 14th of March, and then this was 7th of March, so it's like a week in between of those. And these, when were these made? I don't know now. And I became very much into bird watching, even more than in 2021, because it also helped me to deal with anxiety and fear and like contemplate what was lost. This is me anticipating the spring, nevertheless, waiting for the frogs to bring the eglets and mushrooms into the forest. Here is like, we go to April immediately. See, like only in March I did like maybe 4 spreads or 5 spreads. And we go into March. I personally very much love this one. Most probably you know this guy from Pinterest board. He appears to be a very popular reference. And I cut out, this is collage, I cut out those pigeons, and he's carrying like a plastic bag with notes and with eggs inside. And I wrote here, just another morning in the village. So he's some weird person who lives in a village, and it was in April. Here I was experimenting with different materials as well. Those are taken, I think this is from some photo reference that I took. I usually take lots of photo references while I go in the city and when I go out of the city. And I really like puffy clouds, and I like the cords, electricity cords. Here's again the tree, the bird, and the cutouts. It was the year when we had, like, at our dacha, duck had eggs right near our house. So it was another duck, general, like brown one, but I liked this sketch a lot. So this is some abstract. I think I was just trying to deal with anxiety and with feeling uncertain. And I also got a full-time job by that time, so my time for drawing was pretty much very much limited, adding up to the me watching the news all the time. So I was trying to just draw my themes. I'm trying to make a circle of my themes, because I'm envious sometimes of all the artists who have their theme so like clearly and visibly distinguishable. I don't have such themes, so I'm trying to find them, and I think this sketchbook became like a sketchbook of finding a theme, and definitely plants, mushrooms, birds and toads are among those themes. This is me trying to again do some collaging, so it's glued on. It's the truck, lorry truck, and the clouds, and this is the view of the river at my dacha. And if it's dacha, it means that most probably it was already May. And again, as you can see, this is birds and trees. And what I realized about the trees are very simple to draw, because you can do actually whatever you want as long as you keep it thicker, closer to the ground, and then it goes thinner. But with the birds, it appeared to be completely different thing. So the thing is that the birds are very hard to draw because they have very simple shapes, and if you mess up the shape, let's say it in a like nice way, the bird is not a bird. So these two birds completely have messed up shape. So they look like fantasy birds, and they should be certain species of birds, but I messed up their shapes. Okay. And after realizing that, I understood that I better do more quicker sketches of birds to try to catch this shape. So this magpie looks like magpie, right? So this finch looks like a finch, and this bird also looks like a proper bird, and this one as well. So I realized I need to do more quicker short studies, and I will continue doing so because I really want to draw species of birds instead of just bird from my imagination, which will come afterwards, right? And another spread of birds here. And again, here you can see some of these things are actually from my son. And what I just decided to do, I decided to mesh it in together. So here I very much like this one, and I like this little Eurasian wren with this like tail being up. It's a very loud bird. And I think somebody is coming. So, and then after practicing a little bit more of those quicker ones, I managed to do mallard and common chaffinch, which look like actually mallard and chaffinch. So I really want to do more of that in the future, this year for sure. And here we go, it's the mid-May, and I'm going to sketch club meeting together with Lucas. Usually I was not doing it with Lucas because it's hectic, but then it was a day when I had to do it somehow because I think my husband was busy. And then I think most probably it was the day when Lucas was at the sketch club, so I wasn't able to draw much. But then I quite like this sketch of a bird because it really looks like a bird. I still need to practice claws because they're bad. I need to do more of that. And also on the same sketch club meeting, I think I did this spread, and it's a spread of copies from Heinrich Clay art. And again, some of them are Heinrich Clay copies, and I like how he works with the line. It's absolutely incredible. I think these two, like 3 are copies from him, and then I went into the different ways of depicting trees and then again animals. And here was some silver marker. And then the forest. I really want to learn how to draw a forest in a way that I like it. For now, I'm not sure that I like it so much. And I like definitely this way of doing sketches when it's mixed all together with a little bit of watercolor, a little bit of pastels, a little bit of pencils, and it looks like it's almost, I can take this out, it looks so like alive, and I like how deep those greens are. I really want to do something more of this style. As you can see in my sketchbook, I jump from style to style, and I don't have the only like way I do a sketchbook. Spreads are all quite often different. So I think this one was kind of a mishap. I wanted to do some collage over it at some point, but I never did it. I think maybe I should, because I wanted to draw with acrylic in this sketchbook, and I didn't like how it looked like. It was some bird, as you can see. But yeah, I need to rework it someday. Some more practices. I'm still very bad at doing like foxes, cats and dogs. This shape of their muzzle like evades me a lot. This one is better, right? But this one, like, what? Okay. So I don't know if it's, I think it should be visible. I wanted to finish it, as you can see. I often like to do the sketch with this mechanical pencil with the red color, because it doesn't smudge as general graphite pencil. And if you combine it with some line, or even if you paint over it with watercolors, it looks very beautiful, if you ask me. So maybe I need to work further on this one. I usually like never finish up sketches after I finish the sketchbook, but here some of them, I think they shout of being finished. So here's the shed at Dacha, and I think I will be pretty much nostalgic about the shed. Because I definitely won't see it this spring. And yeah, maybe if I color the sketch that I did last year, it will suffice. I don't know. And this is the, like, you can clean water here, you do like that. And you clean water, clean hands with this thing. It's also on the dacha, and here we have our outhouse, the shed with the outhouse. And here is like, again, it was the same dacha. I think most probably it was May. And this is my mom, like working in the garden, and I'm sitting next to her and doing some sketches. And this is the tulip bulb. I think I really wanted to have my journal looking more like that, you know, because here it looks like a study of different species that were in our garden at Dacha, and I really wanted to have some notes that I did during that time. This was green, I remember. It's like tulip bulb from the inside. It's a very weird thing. And here we go. Humans. I need to practice more humans, especially in these like 3/4 ways, because this looks embarrassing. And again, here I started doing the bug and the flowers and the osprey and didn't finish it, as you can see. And here's also It's a postcard of sketchbook company that I like a lot. I think it's screen printed, most probably. I wanted to draw something here. I still will do, I think. I wanted to glue it here. And this one is like Lucas and my mother like being on at the pond in summer. And I didn't finish it, as you can see. It's okay. And this was July already, so not much drawn. And it was me doing the sketch club at my work, at my full-time work at the publishing house where I hosted a sketch club. I wanted to repeat more, but then had too much work and like never was able to actually repeat it. But it went fine, and I had the feedback that it was one of the most interesting corporate events, that we have quite a lot of them. I've never been to any, because I had too much work all the time. But this was really nice. I found real dead bird on the road, and it was just dead, so it was like soft. Not bird, I mean like firefly, I'm sorry. So I like opened it up and put, I think, a pencil on it, so it like dried up flat. And from different sides, it looked completely different. From one side, it was this purplish black, and it's called Aratura iris. And here's the Russian title of this. Here's my sketches. Here's my writings. We won't see it. And then we were at the little like river raft on the weekend together with my husband and my son and colleagues of my husband. It was a big rafting party of 100 boats, and we rafted down the river Kirzhach, and it was in July. And unfortunately, like Lucas went social anxious very much, and I was not able to draw a lot because I needed to tend to him more than I tended to my art practices, so this stayed free of my drawings. So let's open this up. So, as you can see, end of July, and then end of August, and then it's even like September. So as you can see, August was really hard month for me at work. So I almost didn't draw anything extra except what I had to do at work. And most of these things like I did on a sketch club meeting, and it was a picnic that we had with my son almost at the last day of summer. We wanted to celebrate it, and I was so sad that like I didn't enjoy summer as I usually do because of too much work and because of the like generally very sad situation. And then again, I like this type of thing. I like when artists do those real human eyes on animals. I think it looks weird but cute and resembles the one that I did closer to the beginning, but it's a little bit different, and I like both of them, and I want to do more of those, like pictures like that. So here I was practicing. I think some of them are copies of Heikala, some of them are like simple sketches, so I think I was pretty much mindless. Maybe I was in some Zoom call while doing so, I don't know. That's my cat for sure. So, and then autumn came over, and I gathered those branches in the forest, and I was able to draw them from life, which is amazing because I really like to draw from life and never do enough of that. And this was a gift. I really like the artist. I need to check out her name. Anna Spishilova. I need to find her socials. Here is it, and it's 27th of September. It was, I think, everything became a mess again. This is me drawing Levi from Attack on Titan and like just doing something weird. Because on the 21st of September, what we had was like mobilization ruled out, and we realized that we have to leave the country. So after that, everything became even more crazy in this sketchbook, I think. So it's just like lots of Levi here from Attack on Titan. Again, mushrooms and trees with weird flowers. And here I was also like doing copies. I was doing copies. This is Jaina, definitely, and these are copies from Heikala. And here I had a short time trying to figure out birds' claws, but then not enough. I need to do more of those. And here's me trying to do mindless meditative doodling and then try to find some shapes later in that. As you can see, it's pretty like ominous everywhere, like claws, like this exhausted person and skulls and everything. It was a hard time back then. And I think then my partner left the country first, and I stayed as a single mom, working full time, and it was so exhausting with my son sleeping. And this is my dog, and I like realized that I don't like it, you know? I don't like being like full-time working single parent, and I cannot imagine people who have to do it on a constant basis. So now I know much more, you know, about life. Here's again, I didn't really know what to draw because my mind was completely like so messed up. So I was just like drawing something, you know, like fish on chicken legs. And this is the spread from Lucas for you. It was from the time when he was mixing more. I think he was writing from here to here, even maybe. I cannot read what's written here, to be honest. But again, I wanted to do some collage maybe with that, but then I think it's better to leave it be as it is, because he was very much part of my life back then, like now as well, but still. And again, some mindless sketches. Some of them are copies, some of them are from imagination, some of them are from references. I cannot even know what I was thinking about. And this was from Lada, my beautiful friend. And she did this one for me. And it was after we already took tickets to Turkey and realized we'll be going. And we don't know when we see each other again. So this is again from Lucas. As you can see from abstract, he kind of made this transition to something figurative, but I don't push him. He do it whenever. There was also... this one was, I think the spread here was empty because of this red splash, and it was on the first day when I arrived to Turunj, our village. And this one was done for me by my dearest friend Anya. At the same day this was done, so they did the same, and this was empty, but then I thought like it shouldn't be empty and I should like fill it out with something. And here I decided to do some sketches of pebbles, like after a couple of days that I arrived here, and I never finished it, as you can see. Here's the view from our balcony. Here's the road that goes up into the mountains, and I already went on the hike in the previous video. Like I did the hike like here, and over this gorge over there. So on the picture and even on the photo, it doesn't look very impressive. But when you're like small like that and you're like pim, here, it's pretty much far journey. I like this view so much. I already started doing another. Let me show you this one. It's the house on the way to the grocery store, and it often has this car parked nearby. It's the same car, and this place gives me such a, like, you know, Miyazaki vibe that I cannot stop drawing it. I think it will be one of my favorite scenes to redraw, and maybe at some point I will try to redraw it from my imagination, so it will be a step from the real world to the something more magical. So here I was trying to sketch live. We had friends coming to us and we were playing music and singing. And here I realized how rusty I became with not drawing enough and not drawing enough people. So I like completely butchered their faces. And I really want to practice human anatomy and sketching humans again this year. And here we were at the center of Marmaris. It's the city that we have nearby. It has an old city, very small and very old, and the castle, and it's very lovely to draw there. I really want to go there at some point and draw there from imagination. Not from imagination, from life, I mean like plein air or something. And this is the sketch. Erburu. It's some like mythical creature. I need to Google this guy. It was given to me by my friend Marina. We were drawing this together. These again like mushrooms and frogs. And this is the check from a cafe. And again, the tree. It's the tree that grows in front of our home. I sketched it live. And here we have goats and chicken. So chicken are also now in the circle of the stuff I'm interested to draw because they are weird creatures. And here is Shahmaran. It's the mythical creature from Kurdish mythology. I didn't know who she is until we came to one of the restaurants, which is being held by Kurdish family here in the village. And they told us the name. And then I Googled it. And then when I went to the YouTube, like in a couple of days, there was a trailer from Turkish Netflix movie, Shahmaran. It's like set in modern days, but it's about the woman who can turn into a snake, which should be very creepy, but legend is very beautiful. I will try also to link it in the description. And again, here's the Marmaris, the old city. I went sketching together with Marina and Roma, my friends. Both of them are already gone from Marmaris, unfortunately. Marina went to France and Roma went to Fethiye. It's also in Turkey, but it's like 2.5 hours by bus from here. And we then changed the location and went to the harbor to draw the sea and the mountains. Here's our mountain and the lamp pole and cats. I suck at drawing cats, so I decided why I shouldn't practice that. And Marmaris harbor again, and this is the castle. I was drawing the previous one, like from where here there was a cafe which looked at the castle, and this is like from the harbor where I was drawing that. No, that. If you look the other round, you will see this. And these are sketches that I also really like. I'm trying to do those, value blobs and then add up line work. I think they look interesting. Then following advice of my friend Marina, who is an amazing artist. And again, I will add up the link to her YouTube channel in the description. And she suggested to me that I should draw more of the simple shape objects to get back into the practice of drawing live and drawing from imagination as well. And I started doing those, squares. Some of them not very squarish, but yeah. And I will do also more of this. And I like here that I was mixing pencils and watercolors and the inks. And here's the quote that I want to remember forever. It says, perfectionism is like mold. Because moving here in Turkey, I realized how big a problem a mold is. And I never realized that Europe has quite a lot of mold problems. And we in Moscow, we basically didn't have it because we have central heating and we have it extra dry in the apartments. Of course, some of them might have mold, but I never had mold in my apartments before, and I'm not the cleanest person in this world. And here it's like you need to clean mold all the time. And it's like perfectionism, it's kind of like mold. It comes again and again, and you need to clean it out and to clean it out. And here I was checking the watercolors, handmade watercolors made by my friend Zhenya, which she gifted me. And here we had friends coming to us from UK and Serbia, and we went to the bowling, and the guys played bowling. Not bowling, billiard. I don't do billiard, so I was just like sitting and trying to sketch them and realize how rusty I became in drawing people from life. So here's me sucking at that. And here it was also already the beginning of January, so as you can see I started drawing more when I arrived to Turkey. Not as much as I want to, but still much more. And buses in Turkey are really great. They're like huge and they like move very fast, and there's like very comfortable to sit in them. They often have Wi-Fi, and it's like you just sit and see the beauty around. And this is the driver. Like on the way to Antalya, we had our seats were the first row, so we saw the driver and the road, so we almost had the like 360 view. And again, this is Lucas. As you can see, he's into Minecraft now, so he's doing those like houses. This must be a staircase. This is like zombies most probably, and here's himself, or these are also some villagers. Here's me again being out of the idea of what to draw and doing just random sketches. I need to do less random sketches, but maybe I shouldn't, you know, random sketches is okay, right? So, and here's like we're coming to the end of the sketchbook, and we had kind of a final work with Marina, my friend who moved to France, and I asked her to draw in my sketchbook, and I sketched her while we were having those, you know, final goodbye talks, which was really sad and happy at the same time. Life is so complicated. Jesus, I wish it'd be less complicated. So here's again, this is Lucas doing something almost invisible on the page, and this is the bird, which is, it should be J, but it doesn't look like J because I messed up the proportion, as you can see, so I need to practice more. And here are like the old from Moscow sketchbook times when people were coming and going, and here is the ancient photograph of sparrows from Germany, I think. And yeah, it's again some things, and this is the daffodils. I was given them as a gift and I decided to draw them. And here is a beautiful postcard from my parents from Germany who live in Hamburg since July. And this is, I was introduced to the game of Kirandia, very old game. Click, drop and click game it's called, right? Click and drop game, and we were going through the labyrinth and we were trying to memorize all the rooms. So this is valuable object and it will stay in my sketchbook. So here it is. It's the end of my sketchbook. Thank you for watching this, and if you like it, you can drop me some suggestions. What would you like to see more from me? And do you like sketchbooking, and what are your ways of doing a sketchbook? This was my way. It didn't go as planned because life didn't go as planned. But what can we do with that, right? Except another piece of art.